Alrighty, folks, we are back for part 2 of today's adventure as these guys try to riddle their way through the Curator's game. Um, and as you go through another bend in the hallway of the Hall of Mirrors, you again find yourself sort of walking down a hallway with mirrors on both sides of you that then turn into a different place. And once again, Helena, it is a scene that you recognize. Um, for a lot of young fighters or those trained in the martial arts, there are competitions or tourneys or events of some sort in which they compete. Was there one that was particularly memorable or particularly important for young Helena Hailstorm's life?
Yes, there was one that was quite a big deal in my part of Eldria, but only came about every 3 years.
Great.
So,
I love that.
as a kid, we would go down and watch, and you would see people and kind of want to be old enough to be there, and then you would kind of want to be on your turn, but you would be not quite old enough, and then finally you kind of get a shot at it when you're sort of fully grown, and then maybe one more shot at it afterwards. Yeah.
Terrific.
Ah.
How old would you have been when you would have actually gotten a chance to compete in it? Was this kind of a, like, when you were in your teens, a little bit younger, a little bit older?
Yeah, I think you'd be allowed to compete in your mid-teens, so I think I could have been 15 first time.
Terrific. All right. Wonderful. I love this. And as kind of the scene comes in, you find yourself standing sort of along the sidelines of the ring. It is very crowded. This is kind of the one-on-one combat section of this tourney that has happened. Later in the day, there's going to be jousting and archery competitions, but the day is starting with sort of one-on-one armed combat, and there's been this tournament set up. A couple of fights have already happened, and you've gotten a chance to largely be in the crowd, and you've seen, your aunt and your uncle are there, a couple of other of sort of like the local lords and ladies, the nobility, as well as just probably at least a good 400 people of the local lands that have like shown up for a day of feasting and drinking and entertainment. This is sort of one of the like prestigious events, so very much lots of high expectations. You've unfortunately run into a little bit of bad luck because you have drawn the lot that means that you are going to be facing this young man called Alderic, who is the favorite to win the tournament in sort of the like division that you're in. You are facing him in your first round of combat, which is coming up quite soon. But you are consumed by a different problem at the moment, which is that your squire has not shown up, which means that your sword has not shown up. And it is, you're not a full knight yet, but you have started to kind of reach the point where you are very much clearly training to be promoted up to knight, whereas a couple of the other people around you are now sort of a little bit more assuming positions of like squires and assistants. Your squire not shown up. What are we doing?
I need a sword, so I'm kind of looking around. There aren't really any swords lying around that I can see.
No swords lying around.
Any women in ponds distributing swords?
Thank you, Emma. That's great.
Well, I can check that out. Or any nice yieldy rocks to pull them from. Swords don't grow on trees around here, unfortunately. So I will keep my eyes peeled, but I think I might have to ask somebody for a favor, which will be very.
You see a couple of the other competitors around you. Most of them are clinging onto their equipment pretty dang closely. A couple of them are sharpening their own swords. Two of them are polishing them. you see two people. You see a young woman named Mira and a young man named Droon, who you had gone through some training with. They are around you. They are the two people that you probably know the best in this area.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull myself up and try and use all my confidence and go over to them and be like, "Hi, Mira. Hi, Droon.
Hey,
How's it
Helena.
going?"
Bad luck getting Alderic in the first round, says Droon. And Mira goes, yeah, that's a tough turn. You'll give him hell. Like, at the very least, make him work for it.
Hey, I might win, but thank you. No, yeah,
They exchange a quick
I'm gonna
look
do what
and then
I
go,
can.
yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely, Helena. That's the spirit. You show that man.
Well, it's great to know you'll be cheering for me.
Yes,
I'll
we
be cheering
absolutely
for
will
you
be.
in your bouts as well.
100%, yes.
Thanks, guys. It's great to have such
Absolutely.
good friends.
What are friends for?
So, yeah, speaking of which, funny thing, my squire, he's relatively new. He hasn't actually
You're still
shown
working with
up,
that fucker?
and
You
it's
haven't
just,
fired him yet?
well, it's just, things have been a little bit, and it's a little hard to come by reliable people these days, so, anyway, we get on all right, but he hasn't actually shown up today, not yet, and I'm just getting a little bit twitchy about, how soon time is moving on, and, I wondered if one of you might lend me your sword, just.
They exchange a look. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, Beth.
Okay. Very good. Ha. I get 17 plus 7.
They both immediately nod and kind of go, absolutely, yeah, look, whatever you need. And Mira is the one that goes, although, slight problem, Droon fights with scimitars, I fight with rapiers. We're happy to lend you our gear, but it's not that big hulking monstrosity that you fight with. It'd be a different thing that you're used to. And Droon will sort of go, yeah, but whatever you need, like, we're happy to give it to you. What do you prefer?
Thank you. That's so kind of you both. Of course, I wasn't really thinking. I've just been a bit excited.
100%. No, we get it. We
Helena
get it. And, stressful moment. In the
Helena just looks around to see
in the
if there are any other-
background, you hear, coming up in 10 minutes, we have a Helena Hellstorm against Alderic Rogerus. And by loudspeaker, I mean like somebody speaking into like a horn. I completely just blipped into the wrong century for a second there.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Helen just looks around to see if there's any other sort of friendly people with swords in.
And from behind, sort of, you hear a door slam open and go, sorry, excuse me, coming through, sorry. And your squire will run up to you, Helena, and go, Helena, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm late. It's a whole mad situation.
Sammy, you're very late, but we can put all that behind if you have my sword.
What did you call him?
Sammy.
Sammy.
This is now sort of like the moment where we realize that
Yeah.
Mandrake's first name was Samuel, as the man that so tortured you in your past memory is now your squire. And he will go, wait, before you kill me. I just had an idea this morning because I was polishing up your sword and I saw in what a sorry state that it was. And I thought that it wouldn't do right for you to go and be fighting with that hunk of junk for something as important as this, because I think that you're going to win this. So I took the liberty of going and speaking to your grandmother, and she agreed, it's time. And he will sort of reach behind him and pull off a scabbard and hold up to you the sword that was once your father's, the sword that we have come to know and love as the Helena Hailstorm family sword. He will kind of go and hold it up to you and sort of go like, think that for something like this, it's only fitting that you use this one.
Thank you,
You're...
Mandrake. Thank you. I was going to kill you, but...
You can still do that,
a
but you
really
need to
good-
go and win this thing first, okay?
It was a really nice thought. Thank you. Great. And thank you both for the offers of your various weapons that I would have been appalling with.
They both nod at you and sort of go, you go and you get them, Helena.
Okay, you all gonna watch me win?
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks, Mandrake.
Get him, boss.
Wow.
Do
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
This is one of the times when I don't think that a roll is necessary. How do you win this fight against Aldrich? Which I want to be extremely clear is explicitly not a fight to the death. In fact, killing your opponent in this scenario would get you disqualified. This is kind of a, like, gentlemanly, chivalrous contest of skill. It is not a blood sport.
Yeah. Just about touch. About hits. Palpable hits.
That's right.
I think hugely buoyed by the support of her friends and Mandrake, and just full of the joy of having the honor of this new sword. All Helena's practice comes into play, and she has a bit of luck. She uses all her skill to be as fast on her feet as she possibly can, and it's a good sword.
It's a great sword.
I think he slightly underestimates her to begin with, which kind of makes sense because this guy's a favorite, and he's pretty strong, and he's won before. But she moves so fast. She just sort of slightly catches him off guard, and it's all downhill from there.
And I will add one more thing to that, which is that there is this moment where you take a swing at him, he puts up his shield, and upon impact, you actually shatter his shield. And that is perhaps the first moment when he realizes, I may be in over my head, even though he is a good 4 years older than you are, and a foot taller than you are. Helena is the winner of that match, and the big revelation of that tourney. Even though she doesn't win, she gets knocked out by all people Mira in the semifinals before she then goes on to lose against someone in the finals. But it is still very much sort of one of those things where, for most of the spectators, it is this match that is sort of like the... For a lot of people, we could have gone home after that match. Like, that was the most exciting one. That was the most surprising one. It was the best fight. It was the best match. And it is one that Helena thoroughly dominates.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Quick perception check, Helena, and then I want to hear what you were about to say, Emma. But just like one last thing to button
No,
up
I
there.
don't.
Okay. I get a 17 minus 1 for 16.
After you beat Aldrich, and he has yielded, the crowd is cheering at you, folks are throwing flowers and a couple things down around you. You do a quick scan, searching for the crowd to see where your aunt and uncle are. You see Mandrake and your two friends sort of, waving at you and clapping at you from the sidelines. And you finally spot your uncle, and sitting next to him is this bald man dressed in this rich red finery. And the thing that catches your eye most of all is the young woman sitting next to the man in red finery, her nose thoroughly in the book that she is reading, having not looked up and seemingly not having seen any of the preceding fight at all. But it is a quick glance, and very quickly sort of like somebody stands up and you cannot see this young woman anymore. But for a moment, you sort of notice this strange woman who was here in the middle of the action and not paying any attention to it. And then a moment later, it is the crowd cheering at you. Emma, what were you going to say?
Nothing important. Who was that?
Oh, the girl who's ignoring me?
Yeah. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it Harriet?
Yeah, she's not really into
Oh.
sport.
Oh, I love it. I
I
love
know. Funny.
it. Oh. Was that the first time you saw her?
Yeah, but it was the first time she didn't see me.
A moment later,
Oh,
there's the
you were
familiar sound
great.
of glass
Thank you.
cracking, and you are back in the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, if they're so expensive, why does he keep cracking them? Ugh, hypocrite. Anyway,
What did we learn? I
it's a
don't know
great
what we learned.
question. I'm not sure what we learned, except that you're really good with a sword.
Sometimes. Yeah.
I think, I mean, it was like that moment where you like fully became Helena, right? The warrior, the fighter that you are.
I guess so.
Like everything kind of coalesced
Yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't always help getting girls, though.
I guess not, but
No.
her loss. But uh that's kind of the best guess I have is that this sword
Yes.
helped you become Helena Hailstorm, the Helena Hailstorm that you are
Hmm.
in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that that was a pretty,
Pivotal.
yeah?
Yeah. Yes. I don't get it. I still don't get it. But
I'm still sticking with my first guess, which is that this sword either is you or it's your soul.
yes, I see that.
That because it's like you could see you light up in that moment, inheriting your family sword, doing such a great job fighting that guy. Wow. Also, I guess we don't have to kill that kid anymore. He seemed like he turned out all right in the end.
Yeah.
But
It's funny how your perspective changes, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything. I can't think of any other answer,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not very smart.
Yeah, you
So,
are.
well, I'm okay, but I'm no Satus. But maybe he'd be able to see something, a pattern or something. But I think it's you are who you are is tied to the sword.
Yes. I suppose you have mainly seen me getting knocked down prior to having the sword, but I did
That's
sometimes win
true.
battles with other swords. And I
I'm
have
sure you
obviously fought with Icebreaker and been, fine.
absolutely. Again, I think it's more symbolic than literal, but I don't know.
So if the curator needs to have my sword, he would have the metaphorical use of sword. And he's great at taking people's souls, so
Yeah,
it would
he
be like
likes
I
to
would
do
be
that.
forced to fight for him. We know that he likes taking people's souls. And we know that he really
Yeah,
enjoyed the idea of taking over you for a little while and then
he
using
sure
you to
did.
fight and, dare I say, kill people.
Yeah.
So something similar through a sword,
Yeah,
metaphorical or otherwise, I'm sure would appeal to him. He likes glove puppeting people
he
to
does.
ruinous death situations.
Yeah, he likes control.
Don't you?
No reply.
Nah. But
What?
yes, I think well this sword has such meaning for you too. It's your family sword. It's your inheritance. You decided when when your brother died that this was the path you were going to take. And this sword shows all that, symbolizes all that.
Yeah. Should we plow on?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Maybe this will be the one.
Okay. You round the corner, and the same thing happens. You find yourself in another hallway, mirrors on either side, and then the image of the mirrors fades away, and you find yourself sitting at a upscale tavern in the nearest city from where you grew up, from where your sort of family's home was. And you're a little bit older than you were at that tourney. Probably 18, 19, not that much older. But you are sitting at this table with a young man called Derek and Mira, who we saw in sort of like the previous memory. All three of you at this point are what we might sort of call knight initiates. You are all sort of, wearing armor. You have weapons at your sides. Your ancestral family sword is hanging off your back as you are sitting around this table drinking a glass of wine and talking about what would you have been talking about? Like, what would have been the stupid quotidian topic of discussion on that day?
I think we would have been sort of talking about new improved weaponry that some of us might be getting.
Yeah.
Mira's
Some
got her
Calmoltrian
eye on-
imports had just come in, and you guys had gotten a chance to check them out.
Absolutely, and practicing at the weekend, and we're gonna have to change venues and all that sort of thing. Local rumors, and
At
Gossip.
that moment, the door bursts open, and our old friend Sam Mandrake comes in, looks around,
Sammy!
spots you, and walks up to the table and slaps down a poster on the table that goes, "Folks, it's time. The sword gold has just gone up. The king's service is now offering 500 gold for anyone that signs up for service. It's time. Recruiters will be coming bound next week. We've been talking about trying to do something bigger. We've been talking about it. Now's the time. Like, this is how we sort of make things come together. We sign up for the army. They're finally making it worth our while."
That's good money. Yeah.
And,
Are you all gonna sign up?
Mira sort of goes like, I don't know. Like, I just remember seeing, like, Droon's mother at his funeral after he, signed up and ended up the way that he did. So, like, I'm not sure. Like, it's one thing to kind of be fighting and protecting people. It's another thing to have to do it, to just be jumping at it just because the king has found a new enemy that he wants to throw you at. And, Mandrake will kind of be going, "Don't be an idiot. We're fighters, we're warriors. What have we been training for? We need to defend our country. We need to put ourselves at the service of a higher order. What is the highest order than the crown of Eldria?"
So you're gonna go down there for sure?
I'm doing it. The moment that person comes by the town, that recruiter, I'm their first light of dawn. Sign me up, take my sword, give me my money.
I bet they'll take you. They'd be lucky to have you.
Thank you, Helena. I would feel a lot better with my old boss fighting next to me. I know that there'd be someone really worthwhile watching my six.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other
don't
person
know.
at the table, Derek, will sort of go like, "Can I see the poster?" Just like, takes it from Sam Mandrake and starts just like reading through it.
You gonna sign up, Derek?
It's good money.
Yeah.
I would, be quite a fight with the, proverbial keeper of my leash, but And at that moment, you will hear sort of a voice over him as this woman walks in with 2 books under her arm, kind of going, "Oh, Derek, don't tell me that my brother is idiotic enough to be considering this." And Harriet will come up and, glance at this sheet and sort of go, "For God's sake, Skye, don't tell me that you're thick enough to think that this is a good idea." And Derek will start to go, it's good money, it's what I've been training for, I'm good with the sword, they need people that are good with the sword, it's better money than there's ever been. And, and this woman will sort of look around and kind of go, "All right, just because you've decided that this is where your life's work needs to be, doesn't mean that you have to let other people tell you what that work is. If you stay out here and serve your family and serve the people around you, at least you can make your own battles instead of fighting other people's, right?" And instantly everyone at once starts talking different variations of like, "Well, I don't know."
Hey, Harry, is that what you really think? I mean, don't you think that if the king is going to fight, and if someone's going to fight, then it ought to be the people who are the strongest and the most equipped to do it, because that's how people are kept safe,
Oh,
right?
please, Hillstare. That is the most basic nonsense that I've ever heard. And Derek will sort of go,
It's Hailstorm.
that would be Hailstorm, sister. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. But no, come on. You can't really believe that
I think Cal will quietly say at that point, "This is the woman that you're in love with?" Okay.
Yeah, she's really smart.
Okay.
You don't think that the king actually has anyone's intentions in mind besides his own revenue and the size of his treasury, do you? Please, I think you need to see the world a little bit more clearly than that, brother of mine.
But you need strong people to defend us from everything.
She'll roll her eyes and kind of go, "If we're going to have this conversation, I need to have a stronger drink. One moment," and she will, drop her books at the table and go up to the bar.
I could get those.
"Oh, could you please? Thank you." And Derek
Yeah.
will sort of go, No, hang on, sister. I think that you should go to the bar and tell the barman what you would like. And then, actually, Helena, how about getting us another bottle of mead? So why don't you go with Harriet to the bar, the 2 of you together? And Harriet goes, "Fine,
Yeah,
whatever."
great. Okay.
And as you get up, you see
Okay.
Derek kind of...
What a
You see Derek
wingman.
going...
I know. Thank you.
And, as you get to the bar, you will see her talking to the barman and kind of going, "I'll take one of the, let's just get one of the Serenati Reds. And, Miss, Hailstorm, what would you like?"
Yeah, the same, please, but I'll get them.
"Oh, thank you. That's very kind."
No problem. So, did you read all that about the King's Army in books?
Books, parchment, my grandfather's conscription letter. Please, we've seen plenty of families around here get devastated.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't
So it's not your path, I guess.
think it's anyone's path. I don't know. I'm so bored and put out by the idea of we having nothing better to look forward to than being born here and being told what to do by our families before the king rolls into town and tells us that we now have to serve him. And then the only time that we have any freedom to do anything is when we're too old and too broken and too far gone to actually be able to enjoy any of it. I don't know, Helena, I'm sorry, I'm Miss Hailstorm. Sorry, I don't mean to get too awfully familiar.
No, Helena's fine.
If you could do anything that you wanted in the world, if you could go anywhere, be anyone, do anything, where would you want to go? And for God's sakes, don't just say the capital city like my brother did when I asked him this question, or I will be forced to throttle you, and I'll be very, very sad to do it.
Would that would be too basic for you, would it?
Little bit.
Maybe you've already
There's a
travelled a
whole
lot.
wide world out there. And the man chooses to go 100 miles down the road because he thinks that as far as he's concerned, that's the end of the world.
Oh, I know it isn't. I want to see so many things in the world. I want to see huge forests and mountains and the sea, and there's all these peoples that I've never even met and magic that I've never even experienced. But not everyone has a chance to travel, and some of us have reasons they want to stay closer to home. It's difficult, isn't it?
And there's no way to have it both. There isn't a way of doing what you need to do at home, and then traveling, and then seeing the world. Doing one for them, one for you.
I don't know. I hope so. It's pretty deep to think about us only getting to enjoy that stuff when we're all old and dilapidated. That's quite profound.
I just think it's silly.
Very deep thoughts.
We're young, we're beautiful, we're energetic right now. Why can't we make the most of lives? Why do we need to surrender it? Why do we need to pledge ourselves to all these bigger concerns? My biggest concern right now is what I'm doing with myself and what I'm doing for myself.
What are you doing with yourself?
Right now, I'm having a glass of wine. After that, we'll see where the evening takes us.
Here's to that.
I like you. I don't know why we don't talk more often. You should come by sometime. All right, let's get back to the table.
think
They'll
it's-
be wondering, crack! The mirror again breaks, and the memory fades away.
Huh.
Within...
That was really eerie.
With,
I'm not sure if this happened to anybody else, but Zoom froze for a moment.
sorry.
Oh, really?
Right after you said the mirror cracks.
It did not
I
happen
didn't
on
notice
my
that.
side. I think that didn't happen on the stream either, so it was just you, Emma.
Okay. I'm
Weird.
cursed.
The
The curator's coming for me.
Mandrake, Derek, and Mira would all go on to sign up for the army. Within 3 years, all of them would be dead.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah.
Sorry, Helena.
Yeah.
I get why you like her now. She's got spunk.
Yeah, she has. There's lots of different ways of being brave, I think, and we were all kind of obsessed with the idea of proving ourselves. But it's partly because of her I didn't go, her and my family.
Well,
because
I'm
I
grateful
was-
to her.
Yeah, I wasn't so smart back then, I don't think. I don't think I would have figured it out all on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just a quick sidebar. I just got a little notification that it's my internet. So it
Huh,
gave me
okay.
the little your internet connection is
unstable.
unstable.
Terrific.
Rocky.
Yeah.
internet. Yeah.
So
Okay.
which is great. As I've been talking about here in the land of enchantment in the desert, we've been getting lots of thunderstorms.
Exciting.
So
Good stuff.
maybe that could be part of it. But I am connected to the Ethernet. So anyway, I just apologize preemptively
Sure.
if I blip out.
We'll keep an eye out for it.
Thank you. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
I'm learning so much about you. But
I can't believe how uncool I was.
you were so cool.
I
Helena.
wasn't.
You were.
In my
You
head,
were
I was cooler
charming.
I was cooler than that in my head.
You-
Oh well.
You were charming.
Okay. So, how many have we had so far? 4, 5?
That would be 4.
I think it's 4. Yeah. How many did we
5.
get?
5, I think.
5. Okay. And we have to decide at the end of the 5th.
Correct. There's no, time limit, but, after the 5th, you will need to take a guess, and you will not be shown anything more.
Okay. What I'm getting from this one, if anything new, is the idea of choice and choosing what to do with your sword. Your sword is, it's about your own free will, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that makes some sense. So I'm sort of thinking, we've got my dad who tells me that you control the sword, that it doesn't control you.
Yeah.
And you've got Rogers who says, don't fight because you feel you have to.
Yeah.
Don't be fighting from that place of feeling that you have no choice but to
Yeah.
protect people. Then in the third one, I get my family sword and things kind of fit together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tournament. It's about me doing something I want to do. I'm kind of reaching for this one a little bit, but I think it's kind of coming together.
Yeah, I think I see that.
And then with Harriet steers me away from giving up my autonomy, I suppose, to fight for something that I don't have any control over, which is what so many of my friends did. And I feel like we're getting kind of a warning here about giving up your free will, about
your choice,
which kind of comes back to this idea we're thinking about of maybe it coming back to the wording of what we actually agreed to in the first place. And was it something like, Helena, you will give me your sword, and that's sort of metaphorical, as in you're going to be like my thrall swordsman now.
Like Mandrake was for you.
Yeah, although I wasn't like.
No, he's a thrall. I'm sorry.
Helena was a very good boss, and by the end of their time together, Mandrake worshipped the ground that she walked on.
Oh, Sammy.
I know. Bleak.
Man, I've gone on an emotional journey these past however many minutes.
Life, eh?
Life, eh? Something about your free will, your choice, your soul.
Yeah.
If he has your sword, he controls you.
Yes, although I guess I'm slightly erring away from the idea of it being about the physical sword and more about the sort of wording and implications of
What do we have to, speaking of wording, what do we have to answer?
Why does he want Helena to give him her sword?
Why does he? Yeah. I think that right now, I still want to see the last one, but right now I'm leaning towards he wants you to give him your sword so he can control you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. I hope
that leaves it open a little bit to the exact specifics, but that is an answer to the question.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm not 100% on it, but that's... What do you think, Volt?
What does Volt think?
Yeah.
Kind of waggles his wings a little bit. Which, of course, just looks like a goat shaking its shoulders.
Yeah. Looks kind of cute.
Does the Curator know about Volt?
Oh, yes, he
that?
100% definitely does. Because the last time when you were negotiating with him, he was like, I could do that if you let me have this lovely goat that you have here. I would be willing to trade all of these magic services.
Yeah. No goats.
Yeah.
No goats.
So, no, it is extremely safe to say that he can see through the illusion of that is covering Volt right now.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Onwards?
Yeah. Onwards. There could be something that we're missing, but I can't think of what it would be. Unless it's your sword could also be your heart. He could, but I don't know.
Yes. My sword has been present in 2 out of the 4 visions so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them.
No. Again, perhaps metaphor.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm back in undergrad. In like a philosophy class.
Did you do those on that hill?
That contraband
yeah,
hill.
on contraband. yeah. We would have the philosophy. Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also where it was like, what does it take to slay a fae? What is a fae anyway?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, I can't think of anything else specifically, unless somehow the sword is tied to Harriet.
Oh
But-
God. No, why would it be? It's not her family sword. It's my family sword.
It's true. It's true.
And also, he's kind of already got.
Taken her. Yeah.
Okay, onwards.
Okay. Onwards. Yep.
All right. Walk down the hallway, take another turn, arrive at another sort of that fading hallway. And when that image goes away, the image that appears in its place is of a sitting room in a well-maintained house. Not necessarily a luxurious estate, but definitely a nice home. Not quite at the level of your friend in Bas Serenath, who is now a member of the aristocracy, Kal, but a well maintained, at the very least, lower upper class house. And sitting next to each other on two chairs in front of a coffee table with two half-drunk cups of coffee between them are Harriet and Helena. And Helena, in this particular memory, you are a few years older than you were in the last one that we saw. In fact, Kal, it takes you a moment to spot the very subtle differences between the Helena that you know and this Helena in the memory, which means that we're probably quite close to where we are in the present day now. And there is a moment of silence as you are sitting next to each other. And Helena, you are dressed in not your armor and your usual sort of knight regalia, but in kind of the neutral formal clothes that one would wear, for example, when going to a bank to apply for a loan. It is sort of formal in a sober sense, rather than kind of formal in a wedding dress kind of a sense.
Okay.
And you're sitting there together for a long moment before Harriet goes, "Are you okay? Are you nervous?" Don't be nervous.
We'll be fine.
He's not as bad as he seems, I promise.
I'm not nervous.
Okay.
I can handle.
Okay, no, I believe you. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Are you nervous?
No, of course I'm not nervous. No, why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. No, this is it's just formality. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But yes, I've been reading a lovely book lately. Do you want me to tell you about it? I can tell you about it. That's just a way past the time. Absolutely. Yeah. We don't need to. It's silly. Don't worry about it.
I always want to hear about your book. It's going to be okay. He can't stop us.
Yeah, well, that's what you say now. Yes, I've been reading. It's a new book that just came from the Citadel. New printing about the Knights of Lear. Wonderful story. Real fantastic folklore. Really, really wonderful. They say it's a bedtime story. But the door opens and you see the older figure of that bald man in the red finery that was sitting next to Harriet at the tourney all those years ago. And he will kind of go, "Hailstorm, let's talk."
Thank you for seeing me.
In the
sir.
study. Come this way. And Harriet will kind of shoot
Does
you
Harriet
a
come?
pair of thumbs up.
Okay.
Close the door, please.
Go.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Of course. Staff offered you water, coffee, brandy, wine, anything?
Yes, I've had
Carva.
everything I need.
Kerva, thank you.
Kerva,
Yes, for
yes.
keeping me
We've
honest.
been
Yeah.
drinking our Kerva.
Yeah.
Sorry, the continuity was
Nicely
flipped out for a
DM'd.
second there.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
No.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you. Yeah. Kerva, brandy, wine, anything.
I am perfectly well watered, thank you, sir. I think you know why I'm here.
Tell me.
Well, as I'm sure you know, I love your daughter, and I believe that she loves me. I am from a good and old family. I believe I can make her happy. Of course, I would like to receive your blessing.
Miss Hailstorm, if it was simply a matter of the heart, I would tell you to go and be happy. I believe that you make my daughter happy. Were that things were simpler, were that her older brother had passed away, were that events had not conspired to make her now have to take up the mantle of all the assets in the Delancey family. Our own destiny is not in our own hands, Miss Hailstorm. I am pledged to doing what is best for this family. My hands are pledged to doing what is best for this family. The way that I'm sure your own hands and your sword are pledged to helping your own family. So, I hope that you will not think me cruel, and you will not think me crass, when I ask, what could you bring financially to the combining of our households? Because the Delancey family is in a delicate state at the moment. Trading with Kelmoltron has not been going as well as it could. The textiles that we've been importing have not returned as much investment as we thought that they would once we sold them here. It's a delicate situation, and if our family business does not receive an injection of considerable amounts of money, well, then not only will my family go down the drain, but every family that works at our businesses will be facing that same hardship. I want my daughter to be happy. I also want my daughter to understand that it is not sometimes what we want that is the highest priority in life. Sometimes we have to fight for the people around us, for the people that depend upon us. I am only too keenly aware that your family is also going through hard times. I believe that you would bring my daughter great happiness. What more can you bring her? What can your sword do to provide for her and for all the people that depend upon her? Because I have to tell you, the Summerhall boy has been here, and while I do not believe that he would be as good a match for Harriet's heart, I believe that there might be something to that match resulting in the most good for the most people when seen on a long enough timeline. Tell me why I'm wrong.
He's as thick as two short planks, even by my standards.
I don't disagree in particular, but he is a wealthy man that is as thick as two blanks by everyone's standard.
It would be a punishment for Harriet to be in such a relationship, sir. I understand what it is to have family responsibilities and to be held by those. Certainly, I feel my family is my responsibility, and perhaps I can certainly offer Harriet a home that will one day be mine, and...
Say more.
And happiness. I'm the oldest surviving member of my family. The estate, such as it is, and which I'm improving daily, will one day be mine and hers, should she wish to be there.
And yet, you've spent your life sharpening swords and donning armor and competing on the battleground, instead of shoring up the foundations of your own estate, instead of learning a trade that could lead to economic benefit, instead of learning how to be a leader. You understand my concern?
I have developed huge skill, and if, sir, money is the only thing that will sway you, I will try what I can do in the world. I am confident I'll be able to provide what is necessary. It may take me a little time.
We are solvent, for 20 months. I can give you 16.
20 months.
Come back in 16. Prove to me that if you pledge your sword to the cause, if you devote yourself the way that a knight devotes themselves to it, you can provide enough gold to provide for the family, that you can make a big enough name for yourself for it to carry the necessary authority, or that you can lift this family up by a different manner. If we are to do that, I would be happy to bless this union the way that I want to. 16 months, Helena. Don't disappoint me.
I will not let you down. And you will not marry her to that Burke in the meantime.
Not unless I have to. I hope not to have to.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, the image shatters, and you are back in the hallway.
How long ago was that?
In the neighborhood of 15 months.
Ah!
Not quite.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 13 or 14. Like, it has not been quite that long.
Okay.
But you've been on the road for a while now.
We have. Well, if it makes you feel better, if we don't save the world, she's definitely not going to marry that guy.
Yeah. I hate him.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, me too. Me too.
Sorry, I was just thinking about ways of getting rid of him. It's not very appropriate.
Give him my sword. Anyway,
What did we learn?
well, he kept saying, what can your sword do for us? What can your sword do for the cause? Which, to me, again, sounds like you. Like it's like you and your sword are one.
Yeah. But he meant it in a metaphorical sense, didn't he? As did I.
Yes, he did. He did. I don't think he meant your specific sword. Oh, excuse me.
What happened?
I hit my lamp right here.
Oh, I see.
I just apologized to it. Anyway.
Your lamp that's always been there. Yes.
yes. So yeah, I think it is very much the sense of your sword is a metaphor for you, for what you can do. And so if you are to, I think you're on track with giving him your sword.
Giving over my free will.
Giving over your free will, your service, yourself.
Yes.
So he wants your sword so he can control you.
And we, somehow, when he laid this out at the beginning, we didn't see this. We didn't think, oh, it's the curator. He'll be engaging in some fun wordplay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't think that deeply about it at first.
Neither did I, because there's so much at stake. Because we have to get Harriet back, and presumably we have to get Icebreaker back, probably.
Yeah, it would be good.
It seems like it.
We're down 2 dragons.
One Satus.
One Satus, and
your dad.
My dad, though. Yeah. That's the best I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to make the most sense, but it's also possible that he has misled us with these memories and visions.
There all seem to be warnings about having autonomy, not being a slave to something.
Yeah. Choice.
In the last one, I do have to kind of do what Mr. Delancey sort of says there, but I have a choice too.
Unless you and Harriet just decide to elope.
People
do
together.
That. They do.
It can be fun.
Yeah, could be.
It may come to that. If we can get her back, number one.
Exactly.
I'm not giving up. It'd be nice to have her father inside, but it's not necessary.
It would be nice, and I see where he's coming from, but
Harriet wants to
all
see
very
new places.
silly. Yes, we can show her all the places we've been.
Yeah.
What a lovely vacation we've been on.
We'll probably have to save the world first, Kal, right?
Yes, we do have to save the world first. But once we do that, then it can be a lovely honeymoon for the two of you.
Yes. Great. Okay.
Okay.
Do we think we framed this in a way that the curator...
All right, I'm gonna just pull a plug here for 1 second to say that, like, let's take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Clear our heads for a moment.
Okay.
And then we can come back to this because it is a little after the top of the hour. So let's be back
Sure.
in about 5 minutes, and we can see where all this fun takes us.
Okay. Okay, great.
All right, so we will be right back, folks.